Loose change for getting down. It's Friday. Loose change for getting down. It's Friday and I'm on fire. And I know that I'll break your heart. And I'm sorry, I'm just so tired. 'Cause these cars are just it, so won't you come?
Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry, 24/7 shopping available. 160920 is the code. Show her some love, like she showed us.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. I am Ace, and I love Thanksgiving. And you're watching another episode of Between the Ropes. So let me go ahead and introduce to you the crew that we have with us tonight. And yes, if there was a part of Thanksgiving that I would truly enjoy, I like my bacon crispy. I'm just telling you, it's crispy. So we're gonna go ahead and welcome in Crispy Bacon. How you doing tonight?
Doing good. I mean, I kind of feel like that because being, with the weather in Texas, but not too bad.
The weather in Texas, okay?
Yeah.
And then welcome in Christy Wilson. How are you doing tonight?
Doing good. Yeah, hot in Texas is also hot up here in Montana too.
It's getting hot in here.
We're hot in here.
Take out all your clothes.
Oh, and Mess Around Dave's still here. His picture just isn't there, but he's still here. No.
Thank God.
He's still right here. So,
Yeah.
Mess Around, how you doing tonight?
I'm good. Long day of spring cleaning, summer cleaning or whatever.
I would just say it's kind of.
I like it. Then welcome him in. He says he wears this look the best, and it's the big bald, big B. So with that, he says that he wears the bald part the best. So.
Oh yeah, I definitely wear it a lot better than Corbin does. So what's up, guys? Ready to talk some wrestling?
Ready.
If we're talking about things we love, I love crispy bacon too. So.
Who doesn't love crispy bacon? He's awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Absolutely. Well, so I kind of have a few different things just besides Raw and SmackDown that I kind of wanted to throw out there. I kind of wanted to surprise you, be like, so I think each week we're going to start this little bracketology thing, and so we kind of all have to vote. So this week,
Bracketology.
because we have 20 wrestlers involved, and this week we have our first match. So on this one, we all kind of decide and kind of vote what side we're going to. So this week, we have none other than I think I'm cute. I know I'm sexy. So we have the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels.
He's just a boy toy.
Who do you think I'm picking?
Triple H.
Triple H.
Triple H.
Dun, 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 dun.
Angle.
Kurt Angle, yep.
Kurt
I'm picking
Angle.
None other than Kurt Angle. So, Crispy Bacon, our first round of bracketology, Shawn Michaels versus Kurt Angle. Are you going Shawn Michaels? Or are you going Kurt Angle?
Yeah.
Are we going in a match, or are we just what's the?
We are going in a match. We're going
Okay,
in a
fancy matchup. Okay.
straight up match.
All right.
Crispy, you going Shawn Michaels? You going Kurt Angle?
I like both, but we'll go Kurt Angle.
Kurt Angle. Okay, Christy, you going Shawn Michaels? You going Kurt Angle?
I think I'm going to go Shawn Michaels.
Okay.
I like Kurt Angle, but, Shawn Michaels,
All right, we have 1-1 here. All right, mess around. You taking Shawn Michaels? You taking Kurt Angle?
Are you kidding me? This guy won an Olympic gold medal with freaking broken neck. Of course he's going to beat Shawn Michaels.
What?
Okay, so we have 2 for Kurt, 1 for Shawn. Big B, who are you taking?
I thought it was 2 for Sean.
I think, yeah, that's what threw me out there. But honestly, this honestly would be a good match in both of their primes. They probably could go all night long if they wanted to. I gotta go Shawn Michaels. I like them both. A tough matchup, but I gotta go Shawn Michaels.
Wait, Crispy, did you take Shawn or Kurt?
Kurt.
Yeah, so
But
It
who did
was-
mess around thing say?
yeah,
Because he
so-
threw me off when he said
okay.
broken neck and then said Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, so
He picked Shawn Michaels.
no, he said
Yeah, he
of
did.
course
Kurt
he
Angle.
would
Kurt
beat Shawn
Angle.
Michaels.
No,
He
He said
picked
Kurt
Kurt
Angle.
Angles. He said of course he would beat Shawn Michaels.
Oh, okay, I missed that part. Okay.
No,
I did
that's what
too.
it
Or
said.
2-2.
So you're 2-2. Of course, the deciding factor has to come to me. Of course,
Well, you're the host.
but
True.
when it comes to it, I look at the technical wise, right? Like who. So both guys to me are excellent technical wrestlers. They're both great. You know, you have the showstopper, you have the main event, Shawn Michaels, but then you have Kurt Angle, who yet again accolades speak for himself also. And a lot of people absolutely love Shawn Michaels. A lot of people love Kurt Angle. So when it comes down to it, you know, which one would you rather pick? For me, it was very, very tough. But because of the technical side of things, I'm going to go ahead and go with Kurt Angle.
You suck.
Wow.
You suck.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm taking Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
So looks like Kurt Angle in the first round moves on. What a shocker that Shawn Michaels gets eliminated in the first round. Kurt Angle. Crazy.
Only on Between the Ropes.
Only on Between the Ropes.
Well, we know if it was Dragon Viper, he said this would have been a boring match and he couldn't pick a winner. They both
Yeah.
lose.
Right.
True. He'd be like, oh, I don't like
True.
either one of them.
Well, you know, I didn't care for it much. It wasn't that good.
It was just a time filler.
But if I had to
Yeah.
pick somebody,
2 Hall of Famers, a time filler.
well, this is the thing though. Like, can you imagine? So imagine taking these 2 guys and putting them in a ladder match, like especially a ladder match.
I don't know.
Oh, I'd take Shawn.
I don't think a ladder match works for these guys. I think you got to go like 2 out of 3 or an Iron Man match for these guys.
Yeah.
I'll
or
tell you
falls
what,
count Anywhere.
If you did a 60-man Iron match between Kurt Angle and Shawn Michaels, I would watch that crap all
I
day
would too.
long. All
These guys,
day
these
long.
2 in a ladder match doesn't work for me. It has to be a 2 out of 3 or an Iron Man match.
Well, so I'm with you on the Iron Man match. If
Yeah.
you do that with Kurt Angle and Shawn Michaels, I'm watching that all day long.
Yeah.
All day long. And that could almost be, if it even wasn't for a title, that could almost still be a main event match. Because you have 2 guys who would absolutely tear the roof off the place.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. And that is one that I'm like, dude, that would be killer just to see. Too bad that we never got to see that, because that would be
Yeah.
freaking.
That's what 2K is for.
Yep.
there you go.
But it's not the
Create dream
same.
matches.
No,
It's not the
but-
same.
No, it's not.
I wish it could be, but it's definitely not. And then I kind of added something else in tonight too before we get to the actual Raw and SmackDown side of things. I kind of wanted to mix it up and throw in a few things. So I'm like, you know what? Let's try a few new things here, try some new stuff, and see how well it works. So I kind of want to see what you guys think about some of these ideas that were pitched in the past that were kind of shot down, so you can say you agree or disagree that the pitch was a good idea, if it kind of makes sense of the way it goes.
So now
So-
we're the creative team.
So the creative. So we are the creative team. This is brought to you because this was actually brought to the creative team, and they kind of shot it down. So the first one we have is Nexus. You know, when Nexus was there, and they came in. They were saying, and they were so close to doing it, to have Nexus actually winning instead of losing.
Right.
If you are the writers, would you agree with that? Would you have had Nexus go over, or would you have said, nah, you got to make them lose? So Big B, huh?
If I remember right, was that if they won?
It was against Team Cena.
Yeah, and if they won, Cena had to join them, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Okay.
He did join us a little bit.
so at this point in time, so I'll start with you. Would you, as a writer, have been absolutely, we're going with Nexus, we're going to put him over? Because there was a lot of speculation that they wanted to at first. And then at the end, they're like, no, we don't want to.
For the stipulation, no, for Cena to join them. But if it wasn't for the stipulation, then I probably would have had them winning and getting them over.
Would you have put any kind of stipulation in it, though?
No.
No? And it wouldn't have to be the Cena one. It could have been anything.
No, I just think they could have, if anything, maybe future title shots, because there was, 5 of them? It was 5 on 5?
Yeah.
Right, somewhere around there.
So if they would have won, then they, Barrett was the leader, so he could have called a title shot, and then they could have had a tag team out of there and get their title shot, and then the IC title and US title. So I might have did if they win, then they get a future title shot at their call.
Okay. All right. So mess around. You're on creative. Would you have put Nexus over?
First of all, I'm not qualified for creative. I'm not 13. I'm too old.
Oh my god.
And
Ooh.
no, I wouldn't have put them over. They're better off splitting up. They had too much talent to be together. I mean, you had McGillicuddy, who was Bray Wyatt, and then Wade Barrett, and who else was in there? Ryback, Feed Me More.
Wasn't
That guy
Titus
sucks.
O'Neil in there?
Anyways, yeah, I would have got rid of them. I would never brought them up, actually.
Oh,
So
Not as a
you're,
group.
so you're actually saying that no, you would have kept the storyline the way that it was.
Yeah.
Interesting. So I have one Big B that's saying, yeah, he would have put Nexus over, just not with the actual stipulation of John Cena joining. All right, so Christy, how about you?
Probably to put them over with no stipulation because they were just too good and people really did seem to like them and really seemed to root for them. So I would have had them be put over. And if they won that match, I think it could have gone for any title that they wanted.
So you're kind of going with the same stipulation that Big B had, pretty much.
Yeah, because that's the one that it just makes sense to me.
All right, Crispy Bacon, how about you?
I think I would make Nexus win, but also put in the stipulation of, whoever wins has to, I guess, choose which title the loser couldn't go after.
Yes.
Okay. For me personally, I was 50-50 on this one also. I think it would have been a cool angle to have Nexus go over because I felt like Nexus needed it more. I felt like they did. So I definitely felt like you could have really launched these guys, have you put them over on Team Cena. Now, I think once we knew what the stipulation was going to be that Cena had to join them if they lost, I think at that point we all knew, okay, he's not losing. I think at that point we knew that.
Yeah, you just don't make John Cena join a faction like that if he loses a match.
Not Super
It's
Cena.
not possible.
Yeah, that exactly like Mess Around says, it's Super Cena. And that's kind of what happened there, which actually brings us into our next one, which is actually with about John Cena. So it was actually pitched numerous times, and this has been a debate for a very, very long
Talk about turning him heel.
Turning him heel, because this had been pitched for a long time that people were like, let's turn him heel. Even John Cena himself shot down the idea numerous times and said, I don't want to be heel. So
Didn't he start out as a heel originally?
he did,
Yeah.
and then he
Yeah.
went face, and then he really got over with the kids and the crowd. And then they were trying to turn him heel a couple times. It was pitched, and he kept saying no. It kept getting turned down.
Thugonomics.
So, Crispy Bacon, let me ask you this. Would
Yeah.
you have turned John Cena heel if you were creative?
Maybe early on in his career, but I think you've gone so long.
Well, he was.
Well, I
Early
know,
on in his
but-
career, when he
but-
first started, he was heel.
No, I get that, but I'm saying you did that and then you turn him face. Now you're trying to want to turn him back heel. I think you've gone too long now to turn him heel again.
What's up, William Hudson? Hope you're having a good night. All right, Chris,
Hey, William.
how about you? Would you have turned him heel at some point?
I probably would have. I think me personally, I'm sorry. I'm stumbling over my words here. I would turn him heel because I think it would be interesting to actually see what he could do as a heel. It could be good. You never know.
Well, now think though, if you turned him heel after turning him face and getting so over with the crowd, you would have had to bring the Thugonomics part back. Like you would have had to,
Yeah.
you would have had to bring the rapping John Cena back. Had you turned him heel, because you could not do this hustle, loyalty, respect, the I quit part of it, or the never give up part.
Mhm.
You couldn't do that. And on the heel side, you couldn't. You really couldn't do that.
No,
And so,
but I just think it would be interesting.
so William's saying, just a reminder, Tuesday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern is our 2-year anniversary live event in TRC. Tune in
Ooh.
for our best prices of the year. All right, I will definitely tune into that. Thank
Right
you.
on. Congratulations.
Yep. So William, Top Rope Collectibles. If you need any of your autographs, anything else, your figures. He's
That's
the
your hookup.
right there. William's the man to do it. All right. So mess around, because we've had this talk many times. We've even debated about this many times of whether they should have turned him heel or they shouldn't have. What do you think?
I think they should have. I don't know if it would have had the Roman Reigns effect, like he was face for so long and then they finally turned him heel and it worked out for him, but I think they missed the boat. They should have turned him heel.
No.
Yeah, I think the problem is that he's done so many, like at the time he did so many Make-A-Wishes and everything else. Like, could they have done it and actually pulled it off? Because he was such a good guy that I don't think people could have seen him as that bad
That's
guy.
probably part of the reason he didn't, because he has such a good standing with the Make-A-Wish and all that and does so much with them.
Yeah, with Make-A-Wish, the kids, the fans, it would have
Yeah.
been hard to turn him heel at any point. Would it have been worth it to try? I think so. It might have been an okay time to be like, yeah, let's try it and see how it goes. All right, so Big B, what do you think?
Man, that's a tough debate, because I've had this discussion with plenty of people, in my ring of wrestling fans, and I think it would have been worth trying if they would have came up with something, copyrighted Hogan, some kind of stable or something. He comes in and turns on everybody. And then, like we saw with the NWO, then they became a face. So it was, a heel stable that it was cool to be a heel, and then you guys started cheering again. But what I've done it, I think I'm with you, Ace. I would have tried it, but, you got to think of all the backlash of all the Make-A-Wish, all the kids and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, it worked back in the 90s with Hogan. Would it have worked in 2000s with Cena? Who knows?
Maybe.
But it would have. I would have tried it if there was a stable attached to it.
Yeah, that's going to be like the true debate, because you have to think this could have been like another Rock situation also. Like when they tried to turn the Rock heel and it just didn't work because people were still trying to cheer for the Rock when he was heel. And so it's or like the Undertaker. It's like those. You have those guys that even if you try and turn them heel, you still have people rooting for them. And I think that would have been the same way that would have happened with John Cena had you try to turn him heel at some point.
Right.
Well, I mean, but it also depends on how it would have came about. You know, like we all remember when Hogan he turned on WCW. I mean, Cena would have had to do something like that, just like The Rock would have had to turn their back on the organization.
Right.
You know, something like that. So, but again, in the long term, he would have came back as a face, you know, kind of like Hogan did. So,
well, yeah, because when Hogan turned heel, like,
it was devastating.
He was so hated. People just
completely.
Oh God, it was bad. It was so bad.
Here's how bad it was. Mall of America opened up a Hogan pasta restaurant. When he turned heel, it was closed within a week.
Oh God.
Yeah, it was bad, man. It was bad.
Yeah, I remember talking about his pasta restaurant.
Yep.
I'm not sure it would have had the same effect had John Cena turned heel, but I think it would have been similar. I think people.
I think it would have been huge if he would have turned heel.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know how people would have reacted to it. To be perfectly honest, I think people.
It would have been split. I mean, you would have the younger crowd upset like they were with Hogan, and you would have the adults been like, "Okay, we've kind of seen this before. You know, let's go with the flow," kind of thing. So, Make-A-Wish would have took a big hit.
Yeah,
they had because they had a few opportunities that they could have turned them heel. And they just did not pull the trigger. And I don't blame them. It could have been something that's like, okay, maybe we don't want to do it. Because John Cena was their moneymaker. And so it's like, do we really want to mess with it?
Yeah.
And that it's like Reigns now. You know, Reigns was a good guy before. It wasn't quite working. Then they turn him heel, and now he's their moneymaker. So it's like, why would they turn him face? Because
It worked when he was a face, but not to WWE's liking, so that's why they turned him heel. But.
Not like it's working.
People calling for Roman to turn heel for a long time.
But if you guys listen to the crowd, they're like split down the middle with the bloodline and Roman Reigns. They're half cheering and half booing. So.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Not a good guy, not a bad guy. I'm just the guy.
Right.
That was probably the worst thing I've ever heard. So. The very last one before we move on to the Raw and SmackDown side, that an idea that was pitched for a long time, because there was several people that they wanted to end the Undertaker streak. Now this was the big talk one that people were like, maybe they should have pulled the trigger, and this is when they wanted Randy Orton to break the Undertaker streak. They thought that he would have been the better man than Brock Lesnar. So mess around. I'm going to go with you. With you being a Randy Orton guy, you tell me, if you were creative in WWE, would you have pulled the trigger on Randy Orton defeating Undertaker instead of Brock Lesnar?
Yeah, I mean, it would have been perfect because he was already, like, at the time, he was a legend killer. So the Undertaker streak would have just put another feather in that cap.
Yeah, it's interesting though, because they felt like when it came to it, they felt like Brock needed it more than Randy actually did. At that time. But I still think that with the character that Randy Orton had, it would have been perfect as a legend killer.
Yeah.
So that's why that gimmick would have been so perfect. So mess around. You're saying yes, you would have pulled the trigger on that.
For sure. Yeah.
All right, Big B, how about you?
For the gimmick-wise of being the legend killer, I do agree. I think they should have let Randy do it. I'm still saying the second HBK match should have done it. I mean, there's quite a few matches you look back that the person at the time could have ended his streak. Brock Lesnar, I believe if I read it right, Undertaker's the one that picked Brock Lesnar to end it, and Brock didn't even want to end it. So, yeah, for the gimmick wise, I'll go with you guys and say that I would have pulled the trigger and had Randy Orton beat the streak.
Well, yeah, because there was several people. So there was Randy Orton, that was one. There was CM Punk, that was another one.
No.
There was
They were
Edge.
never going to let CM Punk do it.
There was Edge, that was
Edge
the
would have been a good one.
Yep.
And then there was also talks of Kurt Angle, being
No.
the one that could have ended the streak. So,
No.
and then Randy Orton was the final one that they were talking about before they finally had Brock do it. But those were the names that were brought up to end the streak.
If the streak would have continued, Bray Wyatt would have been the perfect one to end it.
Yeah.
Yikes.
That would have been interesting.
I don't know.
Well, he would have, because they were kind of the same character,
Yep.
and so it would have been like, okay, Taker would have been passing that torch on to Bray Wyatt. So I think
That's why.
yeah, and so I think it would have been good. Now, Big B, out of most of the names I said, you're like, nope.
CM Punk was a definite no. For
Not
Big B.
today.
I mean, I guess I gotta go back and watch, what led up to WrestleMania for some of those guys and see where I felt they were. I mean, William, if he's still watching, he's the historian. But I think Orton being the Legend Killer would have been the perfect one. After that,
Edge. I think Edge could have been a good
Edge
one.
would have been the next one. And then, I guess Brock, because that's who Undertaker wanted. But if it would have went past Brock, then I think Bray Wyatt would have been the ideal choice. I know we're talking a few years difference, but,
Yeah, definitely. That or could you have potentially, and I'm not saying yes, it would have been a good idea, but could you potentially had John Cena do it?
Ooh.
No.
Accolades wise and accomplishments, possibly. Being that, he's Mr. Face of the company at the time,
Right.
but I don't know. That still doesn't sound right to me.
All right, Chris, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, I would pick Orton, but I would also kind of leave it up to the Undertaker. I mean, just say, hey, we're thinking about ending the streak. Is there somebody you would, want to go up against to do that?
Okay.
Then after that, I would have picked.
Huh?
Then after that, then the creative team could pick if he couldn't decide.
All right, Christy, how about you?
I'm going to go with the rest of you guys. I'm going to go Randy Orton because that Legend Killer gimmick would have been perfect. It would have made sense to have him end the Undertaker streak. If not, either go CM Punk or Brock Lesnar.
CM Punk, I don't know if CM Punk would have been the right choice. I
don't know either, but, it's just a random, just throw it out there sort of thing.
Yeah, I really
I know
don't.
he wanted to. I think he said he would have loved to, he would have wanted to be the one to end the streak, but it just doesn't work out that way.
They had considered it, but
Yeah,
then,
they had.
then they said no.
Yeah.
And in the end, they said no because they're like, CM Punk is not the right guy for it.
Yeah,
So,
it would kind of also fueled his anger towards the company to where, we know eventually he later dropped the pipe bomb and everything like that.
I mean, the stories that we heard of, if you watch the documentaries of Taker, everybody respected the hell out of him. Nobody wanted to break that streak. So it was almost up to the Undertaker to make the choice. That was just like back in I've been reading a lot of stories of WrestleMania 3 with Hogan and Giant.
Yeah.
They wanted to put the belt on Giant. Giant's like, nope. So.
Well, yeah, and so I'm sure you kind of watched that thing leading up to WrestleMania between Undertaker and Brock, but leading up to it, it was like days before. WWE was still going back and forth on being like, okay, we want Taker to win. No, we want Brock. No, we want Taker. But then in the end, Taker's the one who came up and said, look, I don't know how many WrestleManias I have left. And if anybody's going to beat me, it needs to be right now. It needs to be Brock Lesnar. Has to be the guy to do it. And so that's when they finally...
Hey, what year was that again?
That was... was it...
2012?
12 or 13, I think.
It was in New
So
Orleans,
we're still what, 5, 6, 7 years away from Bray Wyatt, and he's wrestled. And how many more matches? How many more supposed WrestleManias has he wrestled?
Well, okay, well,
Bray Wyatt was already in the WWE.
He was 20
I
and
don't think
0.
he was on the main roster yet.
he was 20-0.
Yep.
Right.
Okay, and then he lost to Brock,
Mhm.
and so Brock put that one. Oh no.
Yep.
Yeah, he put that one there, and then Taker was 21-1 because then he came back and wrestled John Cena, I do believe,
Yeah.
and then AJ Styles,
Boneyard match.
Yep.
and then it was Roman Reigns, and then he lost to Roman Reigns.
So
no,
he,
Roman
so he
Reigns was
wrestled-
actually
Before.
before the
Before-
Boneyard match.
Yeah,
was
before the Boneyard
Yeah.
match. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he
yeah,
wrestled. He
it was
wrestled
20
for.
It was 2017 with Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I was in Orlando
Okay,
for that
All
one.
right, so he wrestled 4 WrestleManias in a span of 4 years, 5 years
About
when he
that.
lost to Brock. So they
Yeah.
could have, if they would have pushed it off, they could have had Bray Wyatt do it. I mean, granted, we didn't know the Bray Wyatt character, but
Yeah,
I
I just
think if Brock doesn't do it, then they run the table with him as the undefeated Undertaker streak at Mania, and then if the Bray Wyatt character comes about, then it's like, okay, that's the guy that's going to end it.
well, I just think at the time though, I don't think Taker knew how much longer he had left.
Oh, and that's true. He said that. He didn't know how much time. So
Yeah.
I would push that he goes at WrestleMania undefeated. He retires undefeated.
Yeah.
Ooh, that would have
been something.
that definitely would have been
At
something.
the time. If
Yeah, fine.
you know. So
Okay, well, we're definitely right there with you. So, those are just kind of little things that I want to throw out there today to kind of mix it up a little bit, make it a little bit interesting out there. So now we can kind of jump into that Raw and SmackDown side. Not really break down everything, just kind of talk about some of the things that we know is going to happen. So we know on SmackDown, it broke that. We know now that the special guest referee is going to be the Double J, Jeff Jarrett.
somebody said that. Who said that?
Wasn't me.
I don't know who said it.
I'm
somebody
pretty
say that?
much sure somebody predicted Go Watch would be Double J. Unless it was in the chat I was in, but I thought somebody on here said Double J.
I
It
thought
must
it'd be
be-
Roman Reigns.
It must have been a chat because I don't remember
Yeah.
anybody saying it.
Yeah. I
Okay.
never said it because Jeff Jarrett was not the first person that came to my mind.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I know. I thought somebody said
You-
it. Maybe could it have been
Well,
on Tuesday Night Mania?
Because it might have been
Maybe.
because I'll tell you, the people that really popped into my mind, number one was Sami Zayn.
Yep.
No.
Number two-
Yeah.
Number two was Solo Sikoa.
Sequoia.
I thought he could have done it too. So
Right.
I thought that those were two of them that I'm like, okay, those I could see. I was not expecting the Double J Jeff Jarrett.
Right.
Well,
So-
he's from Tennessee, so if you were going to pick somebody from Tennessee, you could have done
Yeah, he comes
Kane.
from I think he comes from the Nashville area, so it would make sense for him to do it. Being
I
it's his
just-
hometown.
I just think it's kind of cool though because I
is
think
cool.
I think he's smashing a guitar over somebody's head. I think it's gonna
Whose
happen.
head is what I
I
want to
think
know.
it's gonna happen. And
Well, the thing, I mean, you know, they always push the card subject to change, so I mean, they can still throw a swerve at us. I mean,
True.
the swerve right now is Jeff Jarrett because I don't think, like I said, I don't remember who said it or where I saw it, but nobody picked
Right.
him.
Roman Reigns comes and, beats
I remember
up
Roman-
Jeff Jarrett, and then
Yeah,
Watch
Roman Reigns comes out and Jeff Jarrett breaks the guitar over Roman's head. Like-
I think the person that might get it over the head is Sami Zayn. It
Okay.
would not shock me
Conspiracy.
if Sami Zayn tries to interfere and he gets the guitar in the head.
Yep, and
Yeah.
then if the Usos lose and the Usos just beat the holy living crap out of Sammy, I still think that beatdown is going to be coming.
I think we're going to be in a. I think Usos are going to win as much as I don't want them to, and I think we're going to see a Street Profit split. I've been seeing a lot of reports that that's what they want. I don't want it. Don't.
Yeah.
You know.
But it's been a thing that's been going on for a while. They've been talking about it. So, Messround, what do you think about the Double J being the special guest referee?
That's out of left field. I didn't see that one coming, but I like it.
Way left field.
Yep,
was
really
good.
out of left field.
That's out of left field, like Dragon Viper's golf balls, and from what I hear.
Well, they don't even go in left field. They go in like behind, like in the backstop.
Yeah,
So that's yeah. They go like way back there in the backstop area. So I think for us, it's like we're all saying. I think it kind of surprised all of us that Double J was a special guest referee. I think it'll be cool. Like, I'm kind of excited to see him back in the ring again. I think it'll be kind of cool to see.
Does Jeff Jarrett come out? Does Jeff Jarrett come out to the song that he recorded, or the one that his old theme song?
Ooh,
maybe the song he recorded. That would be
that would be sweet.
Would be so sweet.
I thought it was funny too that Pat's like, "The Jeff Jarrett." Like he's all excited.
I'm thinking the old one.
Oh, it'll be pretty much. It's gonna be his theme song and not the song he recorded.
So now moving away from the Double J part, does anybody kind of get the vibe that maybe, and I'm not saying for sure, that maybe they're kind of teasing maybe Heyman pairing up with Theory coming up here? Theory might become that Heyman guy.
I don't think Theory needs a manager or anything. He doesn't need that mouthpiece.
He doesn't need it. But
he's really good on the mic by himself. He doesn't need Heyman speaking.
Neither did CM Punk, but he was still a Heyman guy.
Neither did Punk, and Punk was a Heyman guy.
Yeah, so, I don't know. That relationship seemed different, I guess, but I don't know.
So because you could see that maybe they might build it up to where they're like, to where Heyman might be like, okay, Roman, you're not that guy anymore. Brock, you were that guy, but you're definitely not anymore. Theory is now the guy, so that's why they kind of want to put Heyman with Theory, because Heyman's like, this is the guy now. Yeah. This is the guy. And so Heyman wants to be with the guy. I don't know. I'm just kind of seeing that this is something that might be happening, kind of with the little flashes I got. But
I would rather see Heyman with Ronda Rousey.
That would make more sense.
Yeah.
Because too cringe. Way too cringe.
With Theory, he doesn't need the mouthpiece, but I can see them doing it as Ace is kind of saying, okay, now he's the guy. So Heyman, that's Heyman's thing. So that he'll be attached to the guy. Let's say Roman goes out with an injury or something. So now he's going to miss time. And then Roman comes back kind of like the Brock Lesnar comes back and it's like, okay, whose side are you on now? And they kind of play in between. But I hope they don't put Heyman with Theory. I really don't.
I don't see it happening.
Me neither. It just isn't necessary for Theory.
No.
Great on the mic. He's got really good skills in the ring. He's only bound to get better, and he's got charisma and he knows how to hold people's attention.
He does, but we've seen it before that Heyman got paired with people who didn't need it.
Right, that's true.
It's just.
Well, actually, I could see it happening since Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar will continue to hold their titles. He'll lose his cash in, and then he'd go to Paul and say, I need a mentorship. I need help. I couldn't beat Brock. I couldn't beat Roman. Or whoever.
The reason I'm saying that, though, is like, if you kind of get the gist of like how Heyman was talking with Theory, and Heyman's like, hey, we can talk about this together, and we can talk about a major pay-per-view that you can cash in and you can get your title match. And so at that point, I'm thinking, okay, are they kind of teasing this Heyman Theory thing now, that Heyman's like, hey, you know what? Cash in at this pay-per-view and maybe I might help you win this title.
I honestly think it'd be a good pairing. I like it.
He'll cash in, won't win, and then he'll say,
you like it?
I'm not
big on it either.
I'm not against it, but I'm not for it. I mean,
right. I could see him doing that if he loses his cash in and goes to Paul.
I don't see. I mean, with Theory getting the kind of push he's getting, I don't see him lose it. I don't see him cashing in and losing. I see him cashing in and winning.
Yeah, if he cashes in and loses, there's no point to put him with Heyman as the mentor.
Exactly.
Well, the only thing I could possibly think of would be this. So let's say, out of everybody in the match, right? So out of everybody that they put in the Money in the Bank match, maybe right before, because that Theory thing could have been like a last second thing, to where they're like, everybody we put in the match, We don't want them to win the belt and lose. So if we put Theory in and win the belt and cash in and lose, people won't be as mad because he would lose. But if people like Seth Rollins cash in and lost, people would hate it. There would be several people in that match that people would hate it if they cashed in and lost.
But if you're looking at it like what they're thinking of Roman, no, it's not confirmed or anything, but Roman carrying it to the next WrestleMania.
I've heard a rumor also that might not be the case. He might not have it by WrestleMania.
That's true,
but that's just a rumor, though.
Right.
But at some point, somebody's got to take it off of him. But with everybody speculating he's cashing in or going to attempt to cash in at SummerSlam, does that? I mean, what do you guys think of him possibly losing to Bobby Lashley, or do we think he's going to go over on Bobby Lashley and then get the titles? I mean,
I think if anything, I think it would be a situation like you would see with Seth Rollins. He would lose his match earlier in the day, and then end up cashing in and winning later.
Heist of the Century version 2.0.
I think he'll win, cash in, lose.
So you're going opposite. See, I just think with the push he's going on, he's not walking out of SummerSlam not holding a title. He's going to get something.
I think that's why he's going to cash in and win, because if he loses to Lashley, then I think that's an indicator that he's going to cash in and probably win. You know, like I said, Heist of the Century version 2.0.
It's
Theory instead of Seth Rollins.
It's 3-belt Theory.
Three
belt Theory. 3-belt
Theory.
So okay, so let's turn it this way. Does that match open?
I would say
that would be your main event.
Say
which one? The
Theory Lashley.
I say that match starts the show.
Middle match.
Yeah, it could potentially open, and I think that'll kind of lead you in the direction of what's going to happen in the main event.
That's what I was going to say. If that opens, in Theory's going to win the title later.
If that matches any of the first 3 matches, I say we're going to see a cash in in the main event.
But I will say, this would actually be and we talked about this last week, this would kind of be an excellent way for Theory to win, because if you're trying to make both guys look strong, what's a better way of doing it than have Roman and Brock beat the crap out of each other and then Theory cashing in? It would still make both guys look strong.
And like I said last week, Ace, if that pulls off, you need to go buy a lottery ticket.
Right?
Mega Millions.
I'm saying, man.
I think he'll come out winning the U.S. title, cash in and lose.
Watch him throw a big thing at us, and Theory and Lashley's the match before the main event. Theory ends up winning, so it's like, okay, he's not going to cash in. He just got done fighting, and then he comes out and cashes in and wins.
There's also
I can see that, but losing.
Well, of course, it'd be awesome for you. Dragon Viper is going to sit back there and go, "Oh, that was stupid. I didn't see that coming. That was boring. They're wasting talent."
From a mile a minute, from a mile away.
Yeah. Well,
as long as they don't pull a notice for Theory, I'll be happy.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. Why have him win the briefcase and have him do nothing with it? Except losing to an idiot like
that in a long time. So
yeah,
that was a waste of it. I mean, that was.
It's like they pushed him, and then it's like, nope, we're gonna let.
Honestly, they didn't really push him though. He was in there,
because the storyline with Mandy, and his popularity and all that.
What I thought the stupidest thing about the whole thing is they didn't have him climb on the ladder because he's 300 pounds. I mean, come on, the Big Joe got up on the ladder.
Right.
That made no sense.
He tried to climb the ladder.
It made sense on how he won it, though. Yeah. That they fumbled the briefcase. Of course, he was there to grab it. I mean, that made sense.
I thought he went to court.
It was just weird. I think it was like one of those things, like once Otis won it, and then WWE was kind of rolling with it. They're probably like, "What the hell did we just do?" And
Right.
so they're like, "We got to get the briefcase off of Otis."
Yeah, and they give it to the one person. They give it to the one person who's, to me, like the biggest. I can't stand him. And it's the Miz.
The best thing for that
They
man
gave it to
or-
the Miz.
Miz,
Out of all
Come on,
people
the Miz
who
is
gave it to
awesome.
you let the Miz have it. You could have given it to somebody else.
the next best thing with Otis not winning the Money in the Bank would have been somehow for that Money in the Bank case to fall off the top of the tower.
Yeah, that would have been something. It's
That
like,
would have been
woo!
iconic.
yeah.
Yeah,
It was
It
like,
would've
yep,
been.
Money in the Bank's on the ground.
I mean, they might as well the way they use Otis with the
Oh yeah, exactly. You know,
case.
some guy walking into the office drops right into his hands.
Yeah. Does this belong to you?
Yeah, I'm cashing in.
Yeah, cash
So-
in.
Does anybody get the feeling now that after watching Raw that Dominic Mysterio might be turning heel here coming up soon? You kind of get that little bit of
I
a
think
vibe.
he's going to join Judgment Day. I do.
I don't.
Well,
I mean,
Where
he'll
is the
turn heel,
Judgment
but
Day
I don't
going
think
around?
I don't think he'll join Judgment Day. They'll be like, buzz off, wimp.
I think
You know
he'll
what?
join. I think he'll join the Infiltrate and then in the Judgment Day.
well, they're trying to get him to join, and you can kind of look at it, and I'm kind of with mess around. I think I think he's gonna do it. I think he's gonna end up joining.
Yep.
and then he might look at his dad and be like, you know what, you were the past, this is the future, and Judgment Day is the future.
And he's my dad.
Right. And then it's going to turn into a storyline with
And
Ray's
my
like, I
dad.
have to save my
You're wrong.
son.
It's Hornswoggle.
Yeah. No, I mean, I really think they missed the turning of splitting these guys up when they're doing the Seth Rollins angle.
Right.
I
Right.
do think that they're teasing it hard, so I can see them doing it.
Mhm.
And if they don't do it this time, then they got to let Dominic go. I mean,
How about let him go
Yeah.
to NXT?
Now let me ask you this, because there was speculations out there where people were talking about how, you know, they didn't know how long Rey Mysterio had left.
Mhm.
And so, could it be potentially that they could end up doing a match at like WrestleMania between Dominic and Ray, and then Ray's like, and then Dominic tells Ray and says, "Hey, if I beat you, you have to retire."
Yeah.
oh yeah, I can
I
see
can-
that. I
I
can
can-
see
I
that
can-
storyline.
Well, I
Mhm.
can see it.
Well, okay.
You know, coming up. I can see it coming up because his anniversary is like in a couple weeks. Right.
Well, yeah, at Madison Square Garden.
Oh.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
think
So
I
I
think
can
they
see
would do it
that.
at Mania, though. I
Is-
think they would do
Is
it.
there a match? Are Judgment Day booked in a match for SummerSlam?
Nope.
No,
Nope.
but I keep hearing no. They're not that. Well, no. I think they're actually
Not-
taking
not
on.
the
So
moment.
far, they're taking on. I believe from the rumors that I've heard, they're going to be taking on the Mysterios at.
No.
But it's not official yet, so technically
No,
not
it's not
right
official.
now.
But I think.
So
it could
here's what I could see: how they could start the split or make the split happen is that they get the match, and then somehow Ray tells Dominic that, you know what, I think this match is too big for you. I need a more veteran partner, and they bring Edge back if he's cleared, and that's how you get the Dominic turn.
I think
That
you'll
he
see,
causes the loss and then joins Judgment Day.
I think you'll see Edge and the Fiend together.
No.
That's
No.
It's rumored. It's rumored.
It's rumored, but there's so many Bray rumors out there. I've just wound up ignoring
Yeah,
all of them
exactly.
because as far as I'm
And-
concerned, I don't
and
think
the
he's coming
Fiend
back. I think he's
character.
done with
Don't
WWE.
believe everything you read.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he debuted his character at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't.
2019.
Even if they brought back the Edge as the Brew guy or his Brew character, I don't think the Fiend and Edge would mesh together.
No.
I don't know.
They're two completely different characters on two completely different levels.
True.
I honestly think that the Fiend is done wrestling in general. Like, I really
Yeah.
think he is, because
I don't know.
Agreed.
because people have reached out to him before, and he just said, "I'm not interested in wrestling." at the moment.
Well,
I think he's
Well, that's
interested in
probably-
becoming and working
but
in
that's-
movies. I mean,
He is.
But-
Yeah.
But that's true. That could be true, but it depends on how much money they're willing to give him to do it.
They have money talks, but
yeah, money talks, but he doesn't seem like the type who believes that sort of thing.
It depends on what your situation is too.
I don't know, but I know, but maybe I could potentially see, kind of Big B where you're going with that. That maybe they bring in like a veteran and they're like, Dom, we're gonna put you aside. Your dad's gonna wrestle with a veteran, and then that's what kind of when Dominic does the heel turn, or they wrestle Judgment Day and they lose, and then Dominic gets frustrated and attacks Ray and. Yeah.
Joins, yeah.
I mean, it could be a possibility. These could all be possibilities. So it's just interesting to see if they're going to actually pull the trigger on it.
Yeah.
yeah, if they don't pull the Dominic turn, either
Yeah, they
turn.
never-
I mean, even if they turn Ray on Dominic, I think then they just got to scrap the Mysterios. I think if
Yeah.
they don't pull the turn.
I think they will. And I honestly still think I honestly think that it'll still be Dominic who turns. I don't think it'll be Ray.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be Dominic.
So I got a question, since we're kind of
Yeah.
going with tag teams. Do you think the Viking Raiders will go after the Usos next pay-per-view?
Maybe.
I have no clue what to do with the Viking Raiders. I mean, I like this new feel, but I don't know. They've been up so long. I mean, right now it just seems like the WWE doesn't know how to book tag teams that well.
No,
and maybe
yeah.
I'm
Well,
wrong,
they're
but
not.
NXT.
I don't see the Viking Raiders going after him because they're heel and they generally don't like heel going up because heel.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, you look at AEW, they know how to book their tag teams. They really do know how to book their tag teams really, really well. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
No, I
let's see. I don't think the Viking Raiders are going to title shot anytime soon.
No, I think it's too soon for him.
Well, I mean, just maybe in a match.
Maybe.
Well, they might get a match, but
We want the smoke.
Yeah, I want the smoke. I don't want this. I mean, I think the Street Profits are awesome. I like Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins together. I don't want to see them split up. I really don't, because they just seem to be such a fun tag team, and they just work so well together. It's like, why do you really want to break that up just so Montez can be a single star? Yeah, he's looking more jacked, and I don't
They
know,
do that.
it just doesn't seem to. I don't know. Maybe
But
in my
they've
mind,
been-
it just doesn't.
I
doesn't
want to
resonate
see what
with me.
Montez Ford can do on his own, really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I
And I-
wish it with them just parting and saying, you know what, you go do your thing, I'll go do mine, and when the time is right, we'll come back together as the
Yeah.
Street Profits. You don't have to break them up and have them beat the crap
Well-
out of each other.
Well, you can do
No,
like
they
the,
will,
you can do
and
like the New Day.
Dawkins is going to need the mouthpiece, and there's rumor that they would put him with MVP and Omos.
Maybe.
You could do like the New Day, keep them together, but kind of separate them.
Yeah, that's kind of what I would like to see done with the Street Profits.
Put them on different shows.
No.
No.
Well,
but
yeah,
Like
you would have to put them on,
like-
you would have to put them on different
have
shows if you're not
Montez
going to
pursue
turn them.
Like, have either one pursue a singles title and then come back together when they want to compete for a tag team title.
Yeah.
Well, you could have them on separate shows, and now you unified the title.
Yeah, maybe.
Chris, it doesn't matter what you think.
Okay, Rock.
You know what? You just made the list.
Oh no,
Can
we
you
got Jericho.
smell what the Rock is cooking?
Yeah, Chris, do you know what happens to people? Do you know what
Dude,
happens
that's
to
already.
people
Dude, that's
who
already.
say things like that?
No.
You
Do
just
you?
made
You
the
just made the list.
Yeah,
That's
you just
what
made
happens.
the list.
You just made the list. That's what happens.
Oh my god.
This is your fault.
No.
You have no one to blame but yourself.
Exactly. When my hand goes up,
Your mouth
your
goes shut.
mouth
Okay,
Oh,
Miz.
God.
Here we go. Oh,
Shoosh!
shush.
Everybody silence
Thank
their cell
you.
phones.
Oh, thank you. We want the smoke.
Acknowledge me.
We
Whoops.
want smoke. Anyways, we're pretty much at that time now, so now we can talk about any final thoughts here. Crispy, I will go ahead and start
Yeah.
with you, Crispy. Any final thoughts for you, sir?
Yeah, thanks everyone for watching, tuning in. Great things coming in the network.
Time's up. Okay, I'm all right. I'm just kidding. Okay.
You know, just make sure to stay with Coast to Coast with all the
Danucci!
shows, and glad to talk wrestling.
All right. Christy, any final thoughts?
Well, this was a great show, and just love talking wrestling with you guys.
All right. My partner in crime, Mr. Mess Around.
The best man in the world.
Just right. Fell asleep on wedding day.
No.
I cannot wait for tomorrow. Red Tape Files will be back after 3 weeks?
Yep, it's back. It is back. All right.
Back
And
again.
then Big B, final thoughts for you, sir.
No, it's always good to come on and talk wrestling with you guys. Tuesday is the All-Star game. On Deck will be doing the show during the All-Star game. We'll pop in a highlight or two. We're trying to get our man Callan on to talk about his experience he had last week. And then don't forget Tuesday night Mania with me and Ace and everyone else.
Asshole.
Yeah. And whoever will be there. Okay. So we definitely want to thank everybody for watching. It's been another fun episode. If you guys like what we kind of did with mixing in the little topics, we love the feedback on that. So with that, we hope everybody has a fantastic night, and we will see everybody next Sunday for another episode of Between the Ropes. Y'all have a good night, and y'all come back now, you hear?
Yeah. Good night.